Hi, in this video we're going to talk about how to read a CSV file in Python programming language and also how to select the columns that we want to use them. First of all, we need to read our data, and this is the data which is in my H drive and in a folder called YouTube. So I right click on it, go to properties, and then go to security, and I should copy the path because we need it in order to read this file. Then we go to PyCharm and simply import pandas package because you want to read this data. Import pandas as PD. Then we simply type pandas.read_csv because you want to read that CSV file, and we should pass the path of this file. And for example, we store this in a variable, let's say called df. It stands for data frame. Now we need to define our X and Y. As you can see, here is a dataset about some customers. This is user ID, this is gender of each customer, this is the type of each customer, A, B, C, D, which is according to marketing department, and this is the age of each customer, and this is the estimated salary of that customer, and this is whether the person have purchased our product or not. So suppose that we want to use just these two columns as predictors and this column as the response variable, or let's say the target variable. As you can see, the index of this column is 0, the index of this column is 1, this is 2, 3, and 4. So we need column 3 and 4. So we simply type df.iloc because you want to use iloc, the integer locations of columns in order to address them. We want all the rows and columns 3 all the way up to 5. But maybe you say, okay, why we shouldn't write 4? Because this is exclusive. If you want to include it, you should write 5 because this one is exclusive. Then we simply type .values because you want to convert this data frame into a NumPy array. And then we store that in a variable, let's say called X. Then we want to use this column, the last column, purchase column. So we simply type df.iloc all the rows, and the last column. And we simply type .values because we want to convert it to a NumPy array. And we store that in a variable, let's say called Y. There it is. Now we have defined our X and Y. And we can also add a comment. So here we are defining our X and Y. In the next tutorial, we're going to talk about how to split our data into train and test.